We are in the secret room at Baxter Cycle in Marnie, Iowa. Look at this. Nortons, BSAs, more Nortons, Triumphs. A whole row of Triumphs right through here. BSAs on the end. Norton Alley again, right through here. Look at all these bikes. Matchless, BSA, matchless, BSA, BSA, BSA. Look at this beautiful thing. This is an Indian Velocette 500. Indian Velo 500. Really interesting motorcycle. It's a 1970. They only made a handful of them. I think about 100 of them. And I think that might have been split between two different models. This is one of Floyd Clymer's last things that he worked on. He was, if you've ever worked on cars or anything like that, the Clymer motor manuals, well, that was him. And we're trying to tight on space here. But anyway, Indian had gone bankrupt, gone out of business. And he put together a deal where he used these British engines in an American motorcycle, the Indian, with a frame, electronics, components, tires, wheels, things like that, wheels anyway, that were made in Italy. And the bikes were, the engines were made in England, Britain. The parts were all shipped over to Italy and then assembled there. It's really a piece of art. Just look at that. We think the bike weighs under 400 pounds. It looks like it might have about I would be guessing, a 58-inch wheelbase. The heart of this beauty is this wonderful engine. And I think it's a single overhead cam, 2-valve, 500cc, with a 4-speed transmission, air-cooled. These are external oil lines here. Carbureted, of course, from this era. Kickstart only. This is the generator over here. Single plug ignition. I think I said 499 cc's is what I read. Alloy engine. Velocette, the company. This engine produces about 34 horsepower is what I've read. Velocette has the same motor that produced about 45 horsepower. And I think Clymer made the same motorcycle with that other motor. They called it the Thruxton. This is just called the Velo 500 just. Anyway, very interesting motorcycle. Here's the shifter on this side, kickstart only, like I said. I don't know what kind of carburetor that is. It might be an Italian job. I'm not sure. It has a dry clutch, single plate dry clutch, which kind of has an interesting story. Apparently it's on, well, I don't really have enough knowledge to tell you about that. So if you get a chance, look that up. But a very nice looking motorcycle. Interesting body work. This is, I don't believe this is the original paint. I could be wrong about that, but look at those lines. Isn't that just gorgeous? When I first saw this, I actually thought it was much older than a 70. But anyway, Floyd Clymer, the story goes, he never had the rights to build these using the Indian name. And what he did was, he just said, okay, let's get the company's out of business, let's use the name. And he made deals, he got the best components. I can't remember the name of the Italian company that did the frames. He got the Velocette engine, which at the time was the the hottest 500 single you could buy. Beautiful aluminum wheels. Just a gorgeous motorcycle. Very unique, very rare. The other model of this is the Thruxton, and like I talked about a minute ago, and I actually have a picture. They had one in here a couple weeks ago, but it sold right away. It was gone in a couple days, and I didn't get a chance to get a video of it. But very interesting motorcycle for sure. I love the way it looks. It's a very striking look. The Velocette model of this had adjustable shocks on the rear, a different frame, of course. Had a more clunky looking style to it, I think. It was still beautiful. Velocette, the company, I believe, went out of business in '71. Floyd Clymer, he started this project, got it going. They made, like I said, about 100 of these and some other bikes. I think they made a 2-cylinder with a Royal Enfield motor. Anyway, he died right after this project got going, 1970, 71, something like that. So that was the end of this whole deal. This is one of his last things. And by the way, you should Google Floyd Clymer and read his wiki page. And then if you do that, you probably want to learn more about the guy. He's actually a pretty interesting character. Character is a defining characteristic for a lot of motorcycle people. Isn't that just gorgeous? This is so high because this is mounted to the frame. And this has to absorb, move up and down. They have to have enough room for it. I think this is the Speedo drive on the back end here. Look at that look. Excuse me. I like the pipe. I don't know if that's original. Drum brakes, front and back, which would be, what they did back in those days. But anyway, an absolutely gorgeous motorcycle. Looking at the controls, I don't know what these things are. This is probably a horn. That might be a kill switch. This is probably a choke right here. I'm guessing this is a compression release, but there again, I'm guessing. Speedometer with an odometer, actually, a secondary odometer. Red line of looks like about 6,200, which is pretty good for a 500 thumper, huh? Looks like he has a throttle lock down here for the throttle. Of course, drum brakes. Beautiful drum brake. That cooling inlet right there. Tubular swing arm, made in Italy right there. American motorcycle, of course. Anyway, just gorgeous. This is most likely the tack drive. This motorcycle was really hard to get information on. I Googled and Googled, and everything I kept getting was almost next to hearsay. So the people that work here gave me what they knew, which was substantial, and probably the most credible of all, particularly because they own the bike. But it's an absolutely gorgeous machine. Incidentally, steering dampener. I don't know what kind of a capacity the tank has. This model actually has a ignition on it. Some of these bikes, the Velocettes, had magnetos, so they did not have ignitions on them. But look at this little tiny air cleaner. Just a little sliver. Looks like about an inch thick. Okay, guys, I really appreciate y'all hanging out here. We're at Baxter Cycle. Gorgeous motorcycle. And I will talk to y'all later. Have a great day. Enjoy.